Hey cats, it's Eddbud here. Really appreciate you joining me again here on the channel. Today I've got an injury update for you, but I'll also go over my training for 2 races that I've got coming up. Actual races in person. Let's get to it. If it's your first time joining us here on Eddbud Running Shoe Reviews, please hit that subscribe button, but also click the bell below for notifications when we launch those new videos for you. And it really helps us out if you give this video a thumbs up like, but also share the video with your running buddies. Dankeschön. So injury update first, and it's good news. Right shoulder is healing up nicely. I had 2 fractures there, mostly towards the top end of the arm. Fortunately, been able to get out again and run over the last 10 or 11 days. I think I got about 25 miles in last week, which felt wonderful. In fact, it felt so good to be back out there in the fresh, crisp winter air. Mostly sticking to the local trading estate, mainly for safety issues. I've only really been able to get out early morning or very late in the evening due to work, so either the sun's just rising or it's going down. Most of the time I seem to be back in the house, it's just dark outside. It does feel a little bit like running with the handbrake on right now. The upper gear's inaccessible really, mainly due to the fact that I still don't have a huge amount of arm swing in the right arm. The mobility there is just not quite what it was. It will get there, but it's going to be a long road of physiotherapy. I think the stats are skewed a little bit for some of the training runs I've done over the past 10 or 11 days. I've got the typical issues with my optical heart rate sensor. I use the Polar OH1 Plus and link that up to my Garmin and Coros watches. I have been wearing a running jacket the most of the time, try and keep my arm a little bit warmer. The cold is not really welcome at all with this type of injury. I don't have an awful lot of built-in padding here either. I'm just a very slight gentleman. I found that any moisture, condensation or sweat that gets onto the Polar strap just seems to play havoc with the heart rate readings, so it looks like I'm absolutely hammering it when I'm really not doing that at all. There's been a few occasions as well where I've had a complete loss of connection between the heart rate strap and the watch. That has caused some very unreliable wrist readings for the heart rate, and it's just elevated the overall effort that's been recorded. So yeah. So much so that the Coros Apex watch has been congratulating me on my efforts, and the Garmin's been accusing me of overreaching, so I don't really know where I stand. That arm swing and range of motion is slowly improving day by day. Hopefully by sort of Saturday, Sunday, it will be back a little bit more and enough to help me raise the pace. As I said, I've been intentionally wrapping up a little bit warmer. There have been a few chilly mornings recently where the temperatures are about 6 or 7 degrees C, but you know, by no means frosty by any stretch. Certainly the colder weather's causing the shoulder to ache a little bit. I think that's entirely normal. Things are still sort of repairing and getting back to what they were. I did attend physio recently at my local hospital. There was a fantastic guy there. I don't know whether they've paired me up with him or something, but he's really into running shoes, midsole foams. He's given me some further exercises to do to get that range of motion back in the arm. I got like a couple of ones that I've got to do with a stick, and also some weights, in fact, to get me looking a little bit more buff, perhaps. Certainly some work on the biceps there, just to improve the strength in the arm. I mean, my arms weren't really that buff before all this happened, but I think back to the hospital for some more physio checks in early December, so we'll see how we go from there. I think it's a good 3 or 4 weeks to sort of get back to some sense of normality. So all looking good really. Got out to get some base fitness back again, and it's been really nice to tie up the old shoes and test out some of the new models that have come in recently. I think when you're down and out, you've always got to have something to focus on, haven't you? Some light in the distance. Keep remembering, guys, if you're got a hard time out there at the moment, you're always worth it. You're superb. Don't let anyone tell you any different. Viewers out there, never feel alone. There's always someone here who's rooting for you. Never forget that. So, on to the ASICS World EKIDEN next. You know, we got our Shoetuber team together, Andy the Fod Runner, Emily Heller, and Kafuzi. I think I'll be aiming for Saturday for my 5k segment. The guys have been easy on me. I've only got to do 3.1 miles. I'm sure by then I'll be wishing that I could have done a bit more, but hey, baby steps. I think Mike and Andy are going to take a 10k and a 5k segment each, and Emily will do that final leg of the EKIDEN. So to get ready for that, I've been focusing mainly on shorter runs, really, just building the mileage back up, throwing in some faster 1k reps here and there just to see how it feels, and it feels good. Not as quick, obviously, or on point as I was, 2 months ago or something, but certainly not lost as much fitness as I thought I had. You know, it's one day when I even ate half a Christmas cake in one sitting. So I think I can still give it my best shot come Saturday. That gives me another few days just to recover even more, just get a bit more motion going, a bit more fitness, sharpen things up a little bit. I managed to log a few 1K efforts, around about 4 minutes 20 per kilometre, so if we can string a few of those together, it'll be a respectable sort of time. I think sub 20 is out the window. That's simply not going to happen. That needs a fully fit Ed. So I think around about 21 minutes, you know, I'd be really happy with that. That would be awesome. And viewers, you know me, I'm always setting realistic targets here. I'm just a man who enjoys running, and I have to work and do all the other stuff that normal people do. I don't think I'll be bundling myself up though for this 5K segment I've got to do. I'll just go with the vest and the shorts and some socks, of course. Maybe some gloves. I'll really push the boat out. Might get me feeling a little bit like it's a sort of race type effort as well. When you've got other people relying on you, I think that has a bit of an effect too. So get a good rest in the Friday before, and obviously get to grips with that Runkeeper app as well that we have to use for the ASICS World EKIDEN. The segments are all listed there, and I think you hit it to say, yeah, I'm ready, and then it gives you a countdown and you're off. So I'll have to secure that to my person in some way. Let me know how you think I might be able to do on the ASICS World EKIDEN 5K segment down in the comments. I'm quite intrigued as to what the viewers think I might be able to achieve. Shock. Horror. I got another race coming up as well. I spied that one of my favourite 10k races still had places open, so I booked myself into the Western Supermare Christmas Cracker 10k. I've done this one a couple of times before, and it's always a bit of a challenge, but you know I like a challenge. If you like the sort of challenge, you know, where you've got sea breeze blasting into your ear so much that you can't hear anything, rain lashing over you, and you've got to run most of the 10k on sand as well, then this one's right up your street. I think there's a couple of k on dry land here, but the rest of the time you're on beach, which is tough. It saps your energy like a leech. I think the wind saps your energy as well. I can remember it almost pushing people back before. Feels like you're just running into a wall of wind and there's just no way to get out of it. So careful shoe selection will be required here for this one. Something that will work on the very wet sand, but also on the road sections too. At least wet sand has some reasonable traction there. If it's dry stuff, you just sort of sink into it. With this, at least you can kind of hover on the top. I think this one's on the 19th of December, so just before Christmas, and hopefully by then some of my fitness will have returned. Just got to keep up the recovery to regain some of that edge that I had before. What shoes do you reckon I should opt for the EKIDEN 5k segment on road, but also on that Western Supermare Christmas Cracker 10k, which is mainly on beach? Now, should I just grab this one for the 5k and go all out? Or how about something that's more suited to the 5k, super light, and with gallons of grip as well? The Takumi Sen 7. Seems a shame not to have utilised the PUMA Deviate Nitro Elite yet in a race, so should I use this for the EKIDEN? In fact, what about the Takumi Sen 7 on the sand, on the beach in Weston for the 10k? I mean, if that's not going to grip into the sand, nothing will. Viewers, let me know what you think I should wear for each race down in the comments. A musical interlude for you. I've been listening to the fantastic album The Best Day by Thurston Moore. This one was released back in 2014. I'm a real sucker for some nice melodic jazz master chimey sounds. And that's what we get here with some fantastic bass as well, which I believe is performed by the Yeovil-born Deb Googe. I was lucky enough to see Thurston Moore and his group back a few years ago now in Bristol, and it was a fantastic event. Just power there from all the instrumentation, an amazing array of different sounds as well produced by Thurston Moore. Always interesting angular sort of riffs that mould together into this wonderful groove. Every single instrument's got its place, and it was great to see him live and in the flesh as well. Favourites from this album are Speak to the Wild and The Best Day, the title track. I really like the riffs on Germ's Burn as well, which remind me a little bit of Television. Do go and check this one out. You can find it on your streaming service, I'm sure. The Best Day by Thurston Moore. Always appreciated that you tune into the channel, guys. Really is. Pick up some merch and help the channel out. You can also follow me on Instagram and also on Strava. Links are in the description. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications when I launch those new videos for you. And giving this video a thumbs up like and sharing it with your running buddies really helps out the channel too. My name's Eddbud, and I'll be seeing you